Hello everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video. This is one that you may well have seen on my Instagram feed, and it's a page that was inspired by a supporters video that Dina did on her Facebook supporters group. So playing with the text profile stamps, I'm starting off using some text collage paper which I'm sticking down using some matte medium, using an old brush. Sometimes you just need a brush with matte medium because it does, particularly when you're sticking collage paper down, it can get it much flatter with no bubbles in, and it kind of melts into the page a bit better. So I have sacrificed a brush to the matte medium gods to do this with. So once I've finished doing that, I gave it a really good dry so that it wasn't wet at all. And then started thinking about what was next. So I felt that these were too much in the foreground. I wanted to push it away a bit, so I'm just going in with a bit of white paint on quite a dry brush and just adding a little bit over the top just to push that text into the background a little bit. So obviously that would be dried as well before I moved on to the next stage. So next I'm going to start building up my stencil layers. This is, I think it's called Marks stencil, and I'm using magenta with a blending brush and just building up some different patterns onto this background. And I'm going to be using, I think that's pretty sure that's turquoise as well. Just kind of colours that work together. I didn't change my blending sponge there. You can see I've just gone straight in with the turquoise because turquoise and pink, these two mix really pretty into like a lovely lilac-y colour. And I didn't really mind if that happened. So once I'd done that, I then wanted to add some colour all over the background here. So then I went in with eggplant and I watered it down a little bit, brushed it over the background just to add a bit of a colour wash over the top. And then just to pull that back a little bit, I then just dabbed it with a piece of kitchen roll to lift the excess off the page so that it was more of a colour wash rather than taking over completely. So next I'm going in with the profiles stencil, and I'm using, I'm pretty sure that is peacock and eggplant, mixing the two together. So I'm getting like a bit of a two-tone effect going on. Doing the same here, so I've got two of the profiles facing each other, and then I'm going to be adding more figures on as well. So I'm just putting one in the middle. You notice that I'm altering the height of that too. So I've got two at the same height and one a bit lower down. So that's just creating some different levels of interest on the page. And then I felt I wanted to bring the dark colour from the bottom up towards the top. And as soon as I'd got some paint left on my blending sponge, I'm just kind of pulling that round the edges of my page just to kind of help to start pull that together. So now I'm going to bring in another focal image here, and I'm using one of the text profile stamps, which was from Dina's September 2022 release. And this was something that she kind of demoed in her supporters video, different ways to use these stamps. So here I'm using eggplant and a bit of white, and I'm just mixing those two colours on the stamp, and I'm stamping it onto some white cardstock, using the acrylic block just to pop the stamp on there, just so that it's nice and firm. And then once it's dry, I'm cutting it out and I'm going to stick it onto my page in between the other images that I've painted on using the stencil. So you can see I'm just working out here, kind of auditioning it on the page and working out where it's going to work best. I'm using a glue stick to stick this in place, and once that is stuck down, sometimes you just know where the right place is. Try it here, there and everywhere, and you'll just land on the right place and you'll know. So then it's going to be stuck there, and I'm going to use a white Posca pen and just outline that shape a little bit too, as well as adding some of my signature dots on the bottom just to kind of ground that image on the page. So then I had this bit left over from where I'd cut the silhouette out from using the stamp with the paint. And I decided that I was going to add it onto my page. It worked as quite a good contrast with all the dark colours. And I was going to add the complete outline on. Then I decided I would cut out a small outline of the profile of the face. And it works quite well because it's just a hint of that face, but it contrasts so well with everything else that's going on. And I think the idea came from thinking I was going to stamp some circles onto my page, and then I thought maybe I could cut out some circle shapes to put on. And I thought, oh, I wonder if I can do that with the profile of the face as well. And actually, I really liked how it worked once it was stuck down. So I'm just using my fine applicator bottle with a little bit of clear glue in just to stick that onto my page, and you can see that that's just sitting really nicely down there, just adding an extra element of interest. So then I'm using the ledger papers just to add a quote onto my page. As I've always said, there are so many quotes on these pages of ledger papers from Dina Wakley that there's always something there that's just perfect for what you want to say. So I'm just cutting it up so it fits onto my page nicely, and I'm going to use my clear glue again just to stick those in place, and some splatters of turquoise gloss spray, and the page is pretty much done. So there's lots of layers gone into this, right from the text collage paper through the stenciling, the colour wash, and then the images stamped onto the page too. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again soon.